Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here like always. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our series of aviaries from around the world. Now this intro, I'm going to keep it as short as possible because today's video is going to be quite long. A lot of you guys have been asking for longer videos, and this is it. And we have Yoran to thank for that. He is going to be the one today who is showing us his beautiful aviary. So for that, we're going to be traveling all the way to Belgium to meet up with him and take a look at his beautiful aviaries. We're also going to take a look at his bird room and some of the beautiful birds that he keeps and work with. A lot of you guys have also been asking me about Cuban Grassquits and Cuban melodious finches. Well, this is the video to watch because this guy is an expert breeding and working with these birds. For anyone who's interested in following him, he also has a YouTube channel here. The link will be in the description box below. So without any further ado, let's head over to his aviary and take a look at some of his beautiful birds.
Hello everyone, so these are my breeding aviaries. You will notice at the moment they are quite empty because here in Belgium it's very cold at the moment. It's winter, and to give you an idea, it was -3 degrees Celsius last night. So only the strongest birds are still outside, which are mostly my Cubans, all three species, and my diamond firetails, which are even breeding at the moment. Well, actually the Cubans are also breeding in this aviary. I have a couple of diamond firetails and Tiaris olivaceus, which is the yellow-faced grassquit. You can see them there. And the diamond firetail, they have a nest there in the back. That's one of the Cubans. And down here is a small nest with 2 eggs from my Cubans, which is normal because this pair usually doesn't lay more than 2 to 3 eggs, and in general Cubans lay between 1 to 4 eggs. Now Ransel asked me to tell you a bit more about the Cubans because apparently they aren't as easy to breed for everyone. Now I have, I think, 8 years now experience with them. All started with this little bird, the Cuban melodious finch, which I've been breeding for 7 years and keeping for 8 years. Still descendants from the first lineage, and the first youngsters I ever bred are still alive and breeding in my aviaries. Now my aviaries, as you can see, are not that big, but I have quite a few. I have 9 in total here. And they are 1 meter by 2 by 2 meters. In feet, that's about 3.3 in wide, and I think that's 6.6 height and depth, to give you an idea. I also see that I have a heating lamp here, which burns all the night and part of the day. Now normally for most birds that's not necessary, but I also have a Cuban bullfinch in here, which is originally a bird that came from Spain, and I do not just want to risk it with this bird, because I've had a few in the past and this is my only male at the moment. Last year my female died and I've found a new female, but she's still inside because I don't want to risk putting her out now, because they told me in the store she was a captive bred bird from Belgium, but when I look closer at the ring, it had also a Spanish ring, so I don't want to take the risk with them. And they are quite rare, because I know of only one person in whole Belgium who has another one. Also the Netherlands, other countries around me, they're almost not available. And they're also, besides rare, very expensive to come by. But they are my most beautiful bird, if you ask me. Full black if you see them in the sun. They also have a purplish blue glow about them, which is very beautiful. And this is also the bird, to answer the question that's always asked to other breeders, which I had the most difficulty with, since I've never even had eggs from them. But we're trying this year. I have a new female, so we'll see. But with this species, male and female really have to connect, because if they don't like each other, well, you can forget breeding them. That's my experience with them. You can see the glow a bit in the sunshine. Now normally these aviaries are all closed, but especially for the Cubans, because they would just kill each other and fight. Now these three are open because I have only one pair of Cubans here, and I thought I'd give them a bit more space, which is always nice for them in winter time. But in summertime they get one aviary for each couple of Cubans. Also, you see here is wire, and that's closed, so I can keep different species of Cubans next to each other, but never the same species, because they would fight through the wire, and I've even had it. That's why I now have stones at the bottom, because sometimes they will even dig under the panels to go kill each other on the other side. I've had that once happen before, and a few times where I was just in time, so I'm just not willing to risk it. There you see Mother Diamond Firetail guarding her nest of 4 eggs, and a male sitting on them. Now, you've seen the Tiaris olivaceus, you've seen the Cuban melodius, which previously was called Tiaris canorus, but is now called Phonipara canoras. The name changed about 2 years ago, and the same goes up for these birds, which I have had for now 1.5 years. I have several couples of them, and I'm one of the few people who has them here, because they are extremely rare. And these are my Melanospizza bicolors. They used to be called Tiaris bicolor. So they're also Grassquits. I think the English name is black-faced or black-breasted Grassquit. Not very sure about that. But in any way, Melanospizza bicolor. I have had the opportunity to buy a few males and a couple with a few youngsters, which luckily the most part of them were females, so I was able to get 4 couples. Now the females were very young still, but one already bred this year, which was this one. Out of this couple I got 5 youngsters, and out of my other couple I got 3 youngsters. Actually, I also got 6 from them, but 3 didn't make it due to bad weather, unfortunately. Normally these can handle cold weather temperatures very well, but not so much the wetness, because they are very keen to have fungal infections, and I think that's why I lost them. And the bottom of the aviary was full of water, which was not so good for just fledglings, because these young birds fledge very early, sometimes even after 10 days. And after 10 days they cannot fly that well. If they get wet, well, it speaks for itself that that's not good. But for the first year I bred 2 of the 4 couples I have, 8 youngsters in total, which is very fortunate, I think. I also have been able to help another Belgian with 2 couples of them. So now I'm not the only Belgian anymore who has them, so if something were to happen here, then there are also other birds of my lineage somewhere else, which is always good. especially with these rare birds. Now, you've also seen in the beginning of the movie that the other aviary is empty. Now, this is my mother's aviary, and it's currently under construction to put also wire in the bottom of the cage under the ground because of a rat problem we had a few months ago, which cost us quite a number of birds in here. So we're putting wire underneath them to stop them, because we have concrete around the entire aviary, which goes about 2 feet deep. It's about half a meter, 60 centimeters approximately, but apparently that's not enough to stop rats. So we're putting wire beneath it to prevent further issues. Now, another reason why mine aviaries are quite empty lately is because I'm planning to move to my own house very soon. And as you see, some birds are already breeding, and I do not like moving birds in breeding season, so I rather wait a little bit longer to start breeding this year, so I do not have to give them the stress and myself the stress of moving parents, moving young, not being able to take apart the aviary because there are youngsters or eggs, so that's why most of them are still inside. Also birds like my bearded weaklings, which can perfectly handle the weather because they are native here, but just don't want to get them breeding and then move them and start breeding again. It's not healthy for the birds, it gives me stress. So that's what we're doing now. Now I will show you a little bit of my inside aviary, where I put the birds for winter, put my youngsters, and so on and so on. So this is my indoor aviary, where I mostly keep my spare birds and my youngsters. These are my Java sparrows. Quite a lot of them in this cage. I think there are now 19 in here. And these are all my breeding birds. Also some diamond firetails, zebra finch, Cuban finch. And as you see, they have a wired bottom. This wasn't originally intended, but due to circumstances I decided to convert all my cages to wire cages. Now they aren't excellent, and as you can see also the walls need a good paint job, but since I'm planning on moving out soon, there's no point in doing it now. This is my homemade disease cage, which has a heat lamp and the birds can't touch it. I will show it from here. It's protected. Now to go on about the Grassquits, you see in this cage there are 4 Grassquits together, which is 1 Cuban melodious finch, or Cuban Grassquit, and 3 yellow-faced Grassquits. Now these 3 are all females and 1 male together, and those 3 are sisters. So how I keep them when they are young is together, and even several males is possible, but from the moment they sexually mature, the males and the females will kill each other. so that's not possible then. But as long as they are young, they can be housed together. Now here I have 5 cages with societies. Mostly I do parent reared, but sometimes it's necessary. So there was a nest of Gullions, and this is the only one that survived, so I saved it by putting it under the societies. I think there's no point in letting a bird die, but mainly I do parent rear. And as you can see, if you breed the Cubans in cages, you see my cages for the Cubans is this one and this one, also the one up here, and those are very large. The smallest I breed them in are I think 4 foot, 5 foot maybe. And you see they need a lot of greenery, and they make their nests there. They do not use the nest boxes I provide, or usually they don't at least. You can see here another nest, or the start of a nest. And here also the start of a nest in the greenery from the Cuban melodious finches. I will try to get the male on video because this is my most beautiful male. I've won a lot of prizes with this one. If you want to show. Which he clearly does not. And this is the rest of the inside. That's my feed box. Boxes with sand. Now here I have 2 Chinese quails. 2 silver babies. And I keep them in terraria because these animals are very filthy to keep indoors. As I will show you now, I deliberately did not clean this cage yet. This cage, as you can see, is quite dirty. And those 5 quails, their cage was cleaned 3 days ago. So that's what you get when you keep quails inside, it gets dirty. Now these are youngsters from the winter. So if I put them outside now, they will not survive. That's the only reason why I keep adult quails in such a small cage. Otherwise I would never do that. But circumstances made it necessary. Now here, those are my diamond firetails. And I put them in these cages on this wall to select them for breeding. I will select a few couples to go outside for breeding. Now these are the females that I have indoors selected. See 2 brown ones and 2 normal ones. A yellow beak and a red beak from each. These are my 2 best males. So those will definitely go with a female to breed. And then I have 6 more males here to select 2 of for the other females. And outside there are already 2 couples, one which you've seen with youngsters. And as you can see now, or not, the bird on the ground on the left, that's the grandson of the one on the right, and that bird is only 3 months old from this moment. So as you can see how big he already is, how beautiful he already is. I hope this will be a very good show bird for me, and to be honest, I'm quite proud of this one. I think it's the best one I've bred since I started with the diamond firetails, and I'm very proud of it. So let's hope he wins me prizes. Now this was it for the inside aviary. We'll show a quick view around. Now, as you know, Ransel always asks the questions, what are some issues I've dealt with over the years keeping birds, and some tips for other breeders or when you start with this hobby. Now, some issues I've dealt with, for example, with my Cuban bullfinches, is that I only had one pair, and they really are hard to get a good couple, because they really have to like each other to breed, and it's not as easy as, for example, with zebra finches or diamond firetails or something, or even the Cubans, to just put two birds together and they most likely will breed. Now, with the Cubans it's sometimes difficult, but mostly it's still possible. With the Cuban bullfinches, however, you just can't put two birds together. Now, last year I had some bad luck and my female died just when they started nesting, because she had a tick on her head, and for such a small bird that's most of the time a death sentence. Now, I finally found a new female, and the male will be introduced to the female in a few weeks when the weather is very good, because the female I've got, I bought her in Belgium, but she has a Spanish ring, so I believe she's imported from Spain. Now, my male I've imported from Spain myself, and I know they can handle the weather if they are acclimated correctly. So in a few weeks they will be put together, and I hope they are a matching pair. But normally now when I buy new birds, I always try to buy at least 2 or 3 couples of the same species. Now, the disadvantage is you buy one species instead of 2 or 3, but the chances of breeding are much higher, because if a pair doesn't fit, you can switch the birds. If one dies, you're not back to square one. You can still try to breed the species. So that's a tip for other breeders, is don't just buy one species. Start with maybe easier birds or with cheaper birds, but try to buy more pairs of one species and try to breed those, and if you succeed with them, then go up to another species, because then your success will be greater. Also, go watch people who breed these birds. Go ask if you can watch their aviaries, watch what they feed them, how they do it. Most of the time those people will be glad to help you. And that's just a great way to learn and to get new ideas for your aviaries. And that's what I would recommend to you all. Now, I would like you all to thank you for watching this video, and I've also recently started my my own channel on YouTube, because Ransel inspired me to do this, and he told me, yeah, do it, it's a great idea. So I've just uploaded my first video on diamond firetail, so if you're interested you can watch it. And my channel will also not be only about birds. I've called it Reptaves, because I will focus on both reptilians and on birds. So I hope if you're interested you will watch. So as I told, my first video is on diamond firetails. My next video will be do-it-yourself turtle pond, turtle tap. So I hope you all like this video and enjoyed my birds. Thank you very much, and thank you Ransel for showing my birds.
Yoran, thank you so much for taking the time to show us your beautiful aviaries, your bird room, your birds. It's incredible to see how other breeders have their setups. Now, again, for anyone who's interested in following him, he just started a brand new YouTube channel. The link is in the description box below. Make sure to go check it out. Make sure to subscribe. I know a lot of you guys in the past have been asking me to give advice on the Cuban melodious finch. And, well, you got the perfect guy here, because that's one of his specialties. That's one of the birds that he focuses on, and he does an incredible job with this species. Like always, guys, thank you so much for watching, viewing, and subscribing. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, and we will see each other in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.